Hey, it's Wild One. I recorded this very special unboxing well over, it's been about 2 months now, and the quality was really bad. I was hacking and coughing, I was super sick, so I decided to do a voiceover. And this is War of the Ring, the anniversary release. I eBayed this. I did not pre-order. Unfortunately, I was not able to get in on the pre-order. There were 2,000 of these printed, and I believe there were 1,500 printed first, and then they did another 500 after that. And this isn't amongst the last 500. We'll see the number here pretty shortly here. Once I get deep into the box. I'm actually covering it on the front. Actually, the label, the shipping label, covered the handwritten number on the front of the box. You can see it's the original shipping container. War of the Ring, Ares, all of that printed on the shipping container. So here it is inside. It is not shrink wrapped in the traditional sense. It's actually in a big plastic bag and taped over. But you can see that it's been well secured with styrofoam on all the corners and some more styrofoam there on the sides to kind of buffer it from the edges of the shipping carton. So I'm sort of digging in and pulling those out. Now I need to get this out of here. And it is heavy. It is over 20 pounds. I can't remember the exact measurement. I think they said it's 10 kilograms, which is about 22 pounds. There's some miscellaneous styrofoam debris at the bottom there. So now it's time to break into this thing. I'm kind of looking at the plastic bag, figuring out how do I open this. It's just taped over. There's quite a bit of shipping tape over it. So I just kind of ripped into the bag here, and we'll be sliding it out here in just a moment. Get the bag out of the way. I intend to keep the shipping container, the bag, and the styrofoam just for, sentimental reasons, nostalgic reasons, whatever. The box itself, the shipping carton itself is practically a collector's item because it's the official War of the Ring. So the box has a big lid here you pull off. It's kind of a bit of a rough denim-y surface to it. And you can see it opens up. There's a magnetic seal holding the box shut there as you open it up. And right when you open it up, boom, here are all the pre-painted Free People's miniatures. I shouldn't say all, almost all of them are here. So I'm going to pull out a few examples here. So here is what looks like a Rider of Rohan. I believe those are Rohan's colors. The Rohan region is that pale green color, Rohirrim. Quite a few miniatures. The paint job is pretty well done on all of them. They are not like, pewter or plastic, solid plastic. They're sort of this malleable material. You can see the flag's bent a little bit on this guy. This is like somebody from Gondor. I think it was the white Tree of Gondor on his banner, one of the leader pieces. So I guess that's all I'm going to look at there. So I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to look underneath here. There is a divider here that has a beautiful print of Gandalf the Grey. On the back side of the divider is a guide to how the miniatures should be arranged and stored in that tray that I had just pulled out, the blue tray. So right underneath this big red tray, these are the shadow miniatures. Again, almost all of the shadow miniatures. Not all of them. There's still a few to come here. Nice cover over them. It's kind of a felt, velvety kind of material. The tray itself, in which each of the miniatures is stored. So here is it's a Warg Rider. Looks pretty cool. Paint job is really nice on that Warg Rider. I'm really impressed with that one. And as well as this one, this Oliphant, the Mumakil, the Southrons. Very lovely. Very well done. I love this one. This is probably my favorite one, actually, out of all the miniatures, is the Oliphant. As far as the paint job goes, it's great. The quality of the paint jobs varies. Here is, looks like just a big orc. I don't know if that's actually a fighting Uruk-hai or not. That might be a troll. I think I pull out an Uruk-hai here in a moment. An actual fighting Uruk-hai. Yeah, that yellow means Isengard, so this is the fighting Uruk-hai. And I think there's a little buckler on his arms, got the white hand of Saruman on it. Pretty good paint job on him as well. Yeah, looks like I'm going to pull out another one. Who am I pulling this time? Probably just a little goblin. Yeah, a little goblin guy. Actually, I grabbed him because he's one of Sauron's actual forces. There's the Eye of Sauron on his shield. So the shadow is, Sauron's forces, the Southwinds and Easterlings, and then Isengard, Saruman's forces. So underneath this, just like the Free Peoples, there's a divider here. We have the Witch King of Angmar. We have the Fell Beast. The Ring Wraith is riding. There's a little close-up of the anniversary edition. And then again, here's a guide to sorting and storing all of the miniatures for the shadow. Now we get into the smaller trays. This one here's got the cards are shrink wrapped. We've got the action dice, and then some nice custom dice for combat and other roles like the hunt. We've got the blue for the Free Peoples, the red for the shadow. All shrink wrap. Let's get that wrapping off. Take a look at what we've got in here. There are 96 event cards total for the Free Peoples and the Shadow. 4 sets of 24 event and character. Character and strategy cards. So there's some of the Free People characters cards there. Those other ones I set aside were strategy cards. And then it looks like we've got right in the middle of all this, we've got, oh wait, first of all, showing a little close-up of a character card. Setting those aside. Right in the middle there, it looks like we've got the Shadow Minions, the 3 here. We've got the Witch King of Angmar. We've got the Mouth of Sauron there on his horse. And then lastly, we have Saruman. Saruman the White. Those are the minions who are set aside at the beginning of the game. If you can bring them in, the shadow player gains an extra action die for each of them. And then here are the fellowship cards. So there's Frodo and Sam, the ring bearers. And then we have Gollum / Smeagol there. And then we have, that's Aragorn, that is not Strider, and then that's Gandalf the White. So those are the ones that are set aside, along with the Gollum card at the beginning of the game. So I'm going to pull those 3 out of there. And then we have the rest of the companions of the fellowship. So there's Merry, and then Pippin there, looking out over the balcony of the white city of Minas Tirith. There is Strider. And then we have Gandalf the Grey, who is the starting guide of the Fellowship. At the beginning of the game, he is the guide that you start with. Later on, you can switch. Legolas. And then we have Boromir there, blowing the horn of Gondor. and Gimli. And that's Fellowship. There's all the companions of the Fellowship. And then we have yet another deck here to pull the shrink wrap off of. We've got mostly shadow cards in here. There's a few Free People's cards, and there's all the strategy cards. I'm thumbing through them here. Should be a total of 24 of those and 24 character cards. So there's an example of one of the strategy cards there. You can see they're split into two sections. There's something at the bottom half is the combat one. You play those in combat. You have to make decisions whether you want to hold the card and play its upper effect whenever you meet the conditions of that, or if you want to blow the card on combat. Whenever you play these cards, they are gone for good for the game. There's Shelob's Lair. There's that hunt tile that's the worst of the hunt tiles. Really nasty hunt tile. And here are a few extra of the Free People's strategy cards. And I guess they just kind of ended up in the other deck. So now I'm going to put all of the Free People's cards on one side and all of the shadow cards on the other. We're going to stick the Fellowship on top there. Fellowship and Companions, and then underneath them the special cards for Gollum, Gandalf the White, and Aragorn. And then we're going to put the 3 minions of the Shadow on top of the Shadow deck. And then we have the Companions of the Fellowship. There is Gollum. There, like I was saying, the artwork varies. I'm sorry, the paint job varies from mini to mini. So, for these, it's like, yeah, they didn't do the faces because it's just too much detail. And here is Frodo and Sam, the Fellowship, the core ring bearers. Again, you saw there the faces were not filled in. And there's Gandalf the Grey. That one looks pretty good. I like the paint job on that one. I guess if I was good at painting minis, or I just find somebody who can paint the faces for me. That looks like Boromir, I believe. Now I'm pulling out one of the Nazgul. Each of the ring wraiths on top of a fell beast. I do love the paint job on these. These look really good. And then we have the minions of the shadows. So there is the Witch King. The Witch King is not on a fell beast here. There is a mini for the Witch King on a fell beast, but it comes with the Lords of Middle-earth expansion. And then here is the Mouth of Sauron on horseback. Really, really nice paint job on this one. I really like the work on this mini. Almost as much as the Oliphants. And then here is Saruman the White, who for some reason is wearing yellow robes instead of white robes. But he still looks pretty good. I think they did a really good job with him. They didn't put too much detail in the eyes, which I've seen the collector's edition from 2009, and that was just horrendous what they did with the eyes of some of the minis. They look like they have bug eyes. It just looks horrible. And of course, the 2009 collector's edition was when War of the Ring was still a Fantasy Flight game before Ares took over. So there's the custom D6s, each for the Shadow and the Free Peoples. The Shadow dice are kind of this marbly, dark gray, blackish, brownish color with this gold engraved sides. There's the action dice. They look really nice. They get a nice weight to them. They feel really good in the hands. And you have the nice rounded corners, which means you get a lot of You get a lot of action with them when you roll them. They bounce around quite a bit. You don't get the little mini thud you get with dice with square corners. There's another divider, that is Barad-dûr. Smaller divider, it shows you that tray we were just looking at. It shows you the layout of that tray, so you know where to put things back when you're done. The action dice for the Free Peoples, all of them were set to the Will of the West. I find that kind of funny. So this is the tray holding the rule book and the strategy guide. And this is really nice. This is a hardbound cover and then 2 hardbound books within it. You can see the nice reflective, embossed, dark speech of Mordor. Speech found on the ring. So there's the 2 books, Game Rules and the Companion. Companion is the strategy guide. There's a little ribbon there for, to help you pull the books out. I was really pleasantly surprised at the quality of these books. They're very, very, very nice. I don't know what paper stock they used, but it's great. Really solid paper stock. I'm almost afraid to even crack these open on a regular basis. I'm more inclined to just look at the PDFs for the rules and just hardly ever touch these. But yeah, there I am kind of feeling the material. It's really good paper that they used. And each of these comes with its own little ribbon for a bookmark which you can use. So there's the ribbon that's in the big case there for the 2 books. But each of the hardbound books themselves also has its own little ribbon. So here's the Companion, which is actually the strategy guide. Some really good information in here for people who are into that kind of level of detail. There's a section on Lords of Middle-earth. I think there's a section on Warriors of Middle-earth too. I think it covers the expansions. I still haven't gone back and looked at the rules books in detail. Now here's the stats charts. Look at this stuff. I know people who love this kind of having that kind of information to know, what are the chances of, based on how many dice I roll, I'm going to succeed at something or get the kind of results that I'm looking for. So here's a section on advanced strategies. And then there's essential strategies, I believe, which is the first part of the book. Yeah, essential strategies there. Here you can see the ribbon. Looks like I'm going to actually go in there and move the ribbon. Slip it out of there and put it in the front. And you see you just kind of slide the books in. There's the ribbon kind of sticking out, kind of in the middle of the 2. That doesn't look so great. There's a better way to do it, which I believe I went back and changed how I slid them in there. So the ribbon's not in the weird looking spot there in between the 2 books. And then this fits snugly back into that tray. Nice felt tray. Cover on it here, and we'll move on to our next tray over here. This is the tray with the certification. So this is a certificate of authenticity. Out of 2,000 printings, this one is number 1807. Like I said at the beginning, I believe there were 15 initial copies, and then they produced another 500, so this is in that last 500. I would have liked to get one of the original 1,500, but what are you going to do? I got what I could get, since I didn't get to pre-order. Here's the player aids, just like the player aids from, I believe, from the base 2nd edition game. They come with a glossary, but there's only 2 of them, and this comes with 4. Because this is up to a 4-player game, you can have either, I believe, 1 Free People's player and 2 Shadow players for 3 players, and then 2 versus 2 for a 4-player game. So there they are, the action dice reference, the player aids, and the glossary. Here are the punch sheets. Once the punch sheets are out and you've punched all these tiles out, you actually have quite a bit of space left in this tray, which I'll talk about that here in a second, why that's important. But there's all the hunt tiles, the special hunt tiles and the regular hunt tiles, the beige ones, and then some of the other tiles for the fellowship and all that. There's a nice baggie in here for putting your hunt tiles in, or for whatever. You don't have to use it for the hunt tiles. You can use it for whatever. Use it as a dice bag if you wanted to. It's got the nice, again, the nice War of the Ring logo and the dark speech from the ring there in red. Looks beautiful. So there's there's quite a bit of space right there where that bag is lying. It's kind of inset there quite a bit. It leaves quite a bit of space for you to take all of the tiles and tokens and whatnot from the punch sheets and actually fit them in there. You can either put them in the bag and flatten the bag out, or there are probably other ways you can store them in there. So then here's another divider. There's Frodo and Sam. Frodo looks very much like Elijah Wood there. I don't know if that was intentional. I know this artwork was after the Lord of the Rings movies, so there might be some influence there. Again, anniversary release. And on the other side, we have the map, the game board, in miniature form. Why do we have it in miniature form? Well, it's a little easier to just kind of glance at it than this. So I am about to pull out this massive board. The regular second edition game, the board is smaller than this one. This one is about 20% larger. Comes in two pieces. So there's the Free People's Corner, where the Free People's event decks go, and the Elven Rings up there in the upper left. And then all of the stronghold spaces over on the left there, the Hunt for the Ring boxes, the Victory Point track. Now I'm unfolding the other half. The lower right there where the Shadow Player stuff goes. There's the political track there. The Elven Rings for the Shadow Player after the Free People's player has used them. As you can see, I can barely fit the board within the camera. This is sitting on a 30-inch by 60-inch table, and the board is just spreading out all over beyond the table. So I went handheld here just to do a little flyover of the board because the board is so big, and I wanted to zoom in a little bit and show some of the little the parts of the board that are a little hard to see from further distance. So there's Rohan and Isengard, and zooming in over here on the northern area there. There's Rivendell. And we have the dwarven areas there. There's the Easterlings and Southrons. There's the Fellowship box. The two boxes there for the Fellowship cards and the Fellowship miniatures and counters for the companions that are still in the Fellowship. There's the political track leading down to At War. There's the place for the Shadow Players event decks. There's where the Elven Rings go after the Free People's player has used them. There's Mordor. And here is the Mount Doom track within Mordor, the Mordor track. You can see there's some kind of reflective embossed work done there. It's the only part that's got that nice reflective sheen to it. I was expecting more than that, but that's kind of all we got. So I'm zooming way out there. I dragged the camera all the way up to the ceiling so I could try to fit the board in. And it's still I could barely fit the board in. The board is huge. There I'm kind of showing the reflective Mordor track again. Folding the board up here and tucking it away. But that's it. That is everything that's in the anniversary release. It's a work of art. I'm so glad that I invested in it. I just need to find somebody to play with me now. I would really enjoy to play this a few times, and you know, get to know the game really well. So if you enjoyed this unboxing, please like, share, subscribe to my channel if you want to get notifications on any future videos that I post. And until next time, this is Wild One signing off.